Tehran says Donald Trump is trying to topple their government. As Iran's streets burn with protests and multiple people dead, is the U.S. help on the way? Or a plan for regime change? Iran's ambassador to the United Nations has sent a formal letter accusing President Trump of encouraging political destabilization, inciting violence, and threatening Iran's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Tehran claims Washington is trying to manufacture a pretext for military intervention by inflaming the protests and pressuring the government as the death toll climbs. State media and officials are now framing the unrest not just as internal dissent, but as a foreign-backed plot to weaken or even overthrow the Islamic Republic. Trump has publicly urged Iranians to keep protesting and to take over your institutions, telling them that help is on its way in posts and speeches. He canceled all meetings with Iranian officials, warning that those killing peaceful protesters will pay a big price, and repeatedly refused to rule out military options. The White House presents this as moral support and pressure on a brutal regime, but critics say this language sounds like an invitation to escalation on the ground. Behind this war of words is a brutal reality. Protests have entered their third week amid a nationwide internet blackout and a deadly crackdown. Rights groups say many have been killed, with security forces firing on demonstrators and clashes erupting across multiple cities. Iran's foreign minister even claims that terrorists are deliberately making the protests bloody to give Trump an excuse to intervene, hinting that armed groups are mixing in with crowds. Some live coverage reports that Iran has placed its military on high alert as the U.S. ramps up pressure, with talk of airstrikes and threats against Iranian nuclear and military sites. Iranian officials warn of retaliatory attacks on U.S. bases and regional allies if Washington crosses the line, raising the risk of a wider Middle East conflict. Russia has also weighed in, condemning externally inspired unrest and warning of disastrous consequences if 2025-style attacks on Iran are repeated. For Trump and his supporters, direct messages to protesters are framed as standing with the Iranian people against repression and mass killings. For Tehran, the same messages are proof that Washington is orchestrating unrest, undermining Iran's sovereignty, and paving the way for regime change by force. The reality is that every word now carries real consequences. More courage for protesters, more paranoia in the regime, and a growing risk that rhetoric could spark a war no one can fully control. Is Trump giving Iranians hope, or giving their rulers an excuse for a bloody crackdown and a new war?